Good morning, everyone. It is September 23rd. Let's dive into Friday's price action and talk about some potential scenarios for today. So we had this gap down on Friday, pulled back to the week to date VWAP into this 465.11 area. This VP node here, and we got some strength to get back above the daily VWAP. Almost pushed us into Thursday's VWAP, the 2-day, pulled back and created that new high towards the end of the day where we're trading. On Friday's video, this was the scenario we were looking for to get long, was for it to break above that 2-day VWAP, Thursday's VWAP, and then get going to push to that new high. And we talked about this 2-day VWAP. It was acting as resistance, could start to act as support. And we talked about the daily VWAP being that guardrail and our guideline. So now we have the average short seller from Thursday's afternoon. As we get into this area, they're about break even, and the average short seller from Friday would be losing money. So as we get back above, reclaim the daily VWAP 2-day and the VWAP from this trough over here, coinciding with this VP gap. So we'd be looking for this to get some strength, potential stop out here, whatever low you would prefer. Right, maybe a quick day trade with a low underneath this VWAP and this VP cluster, because if it breaks down, it's probably poised to come down to this 461. So on Friday, we talked about getting above the 2-day, Thursday's VWAP, pulling back into it, and that could give us the strength. Your average short seller is losing money. They start selling out. Momentum chasers start buying. We squeeze into a new all-time high. So perhaps we rally to this Thursday VWAP. Okay, a 3-day VWAP, and we decline. Or maybe we get here, and instead of rising up, we just fell right through. Break last week's VWAP, come down to 461, get some people excited to short 460, and it actually pulls in for today. And then potentially maybe that's when we could start to see maybe a further decline for this week. Not saying it's going to happen, just a potential scenario, because then at that point, Wednesday by the end of the day, we'll be up here. So Tuesday, Wednesday, if we decline, start to meander, this 5-day moving average will start to flatten decline. So potentially we could have a rally to a new low above a flat to declining 5-day moving average, and maybe that could be poised to break that 560 level and give us a further decline into some potential levels of support down here. And the key areas of interest, we could see this 561. If you're a short seller, you could be saying, hey, if it breaks 561, 560, I want to short. But if it just declined 12% really fast, prefer for it to pull back up and then look to set something up with the stop. I'm not going to short this, or not aggressively. It's a bull market, and potentially we could see a further decline down into this 520.22 level, where you could see we had this previous area of resistance. VP level could then act as support. We do have some potential levels of interest. This VWAP low, this 558. We could see this whole VP cluster. So we got this VWAP from the low in the month-to-date VWAP at the 558, 555. But I'd prefer to undercut these, come back into this 552, 547, and then set up something for a bigger push for the end of the year. So then we get something back, maybe get a bounce up here, shake out, and then get going. And then that 5-day moving average continues to just kind of come across, gives us some evidence lining up. So here's the dip, got some strength, little pullback, and then we could look for some type of participation in this 560 level. Could really be our support level that we could get a launch pad off of. And one last thing, really going into detail here, then this VWAP from this high, from this trough, could then start to act as support as well. So potential scenario was if we rally down, that 5-day moving average or that VWAP from the high VP cluster here could act as resistance, get a further pullback. Or maybe we get up into here, pull back, and start to break above. That could also be our scenario to fuel us. Just potential scenarios of how I'm looking to play some price. Let's get to that QQQ real quick. And let's see what we got. So we're trading at Thursday's VWAP pretty much. Friday's VWAP, very similar area. So we're going to be looking for to see if this get back above Thursday's VWAP into this 484 level, create this double top. All the breakout chasers, it's going to break out. Let's pull back, then get going. And that's like up into this gap fill area at 492, 493. So perhaps maybe we could see something like this to the long side, get back above a 3-day VWAP, just like on the SPY, pull back into this 2-day VWAP. This would be Friday's VWAP at the point in time. Thursday's VWAP kind of going up in here. And then we have 2-day VWAP, 3-day VWAP, and the daily VWAP acting as support. Your average buyer over the past 3 days is making money. Maybe we just rally up into here, break this 480 level. On the break of 480, you could see coinciding with this VP level. Maybe we get this rally up, pulls back, pushes, starts to get some weakness. Monitor for that further decline into this 475, 472 area. We could see the 5-day moving average is rising. Last week's VWAP coinciding at this level and this pretty chunky VP level. So maybe this could be a cushion, or we could get some support, start to rally back up, pull back, and go. 5-day moving average, start to flatten out, rise. And this is our 5-day moving average. Maybe this rallies and we start to get trapped under the 5-day moving average. And instead of rallying up here, we get a further decline on the break of this 472. Let's short 470. Let's short 470. Rallies up on them. Now maybe it rejects up in here. Rejects up in this area. Right? And we get that further decline down to this 461 level. You could see this would be a key break of this VP area. So we have a VP gap underneath. So I'd be monitoring 461, which coincides with August 5th's low at this 461, 462 level. Okay. So that's what the potential scenarios I'm looking for, some potential levels. Key areas 475, 472. Start to break under there in this 5-day moving average. Poised to go down to this 469, 461 area. Hopefully this was helpful.